What's going on, Knuckle Heads? GKM Gaming here with another LEGO Legacies Unboxed video for you, and today I'm back with a Whale Wednesday. Took a couple weeks off, wanted to wait for the space reworks to come out, and now we're back. I'm bringing you Major Kartofski Super Whale figure, at least right now. Only two ways to get him. You got to get him from the Master Store, so you got to be either Tipster and have like 10k to blow on each unit you want, or somebody of that equivalent. Or you can just get him in bags, kind of like Gorwell. So he's kind of like, he's the happy medium between Gorwell and Willa. Because he's got at least 2 access points. Up until now he sucked, though. So there was never a point. Like, I had some tiles I got from bags for him. But other than that, there was really... Honestly, if you were really going to try to get him, I would suggest, like, the space bags, which I'm pretty sure he's in those, like, you know, once a week when the Gorwell event comes around, and there's the bags of just the space units. Pretty sure he's in there, and that would probably be the best way to get him, but you can correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. But anyway, before I get into this video, I have some big news for you guys. First off, I want to say thank you for 200 subscribers, 200 plus subscribers. It means so much to me. When I started this channel, I had 0 subs. I started from the bottom up, and even though 200 doesn't seem like a lot, when I look at the viewership and the engagement on these videos, I really know that we got something special here. And honestly, it's thanks to you guys watching the vids every day, dropping comments, you know, getting on me saying, hey, you didn't do Free to Play Friday this week. Is it over? It's not over. You know, sometimes life happens, or, you know, sometimes I want to wait till new content comes out and take a week off. You know, I don't know what units I want to cover. But now with the space reworks, you're going to be getting tons of videos over the next few days, and there's a Poppy rework, which I believe will be coming out Free to Play Friday. Don't quote me on that, but you probably could. So that's really awesome. And the reason I have access to this Kartofski rework and all the space reworks is because Gameloft has accepted me into their content creator program. So I am one of 10 content creators who was accepted into this program, where basically they give us the patch notes and stuff ahead of time so that we can make awesome videos and trickle it down to you, the community, before they release the official patch notes. So basically, if you're supporting content creators, you're going to get that information a few days early, which is really awesome, because I could tell on Discord, people are just like, patch notes, patch notes, patch notes, can we get the patch notes? Patch notes, patch notes, patch notes. Everybody wants the patch notes, and they're just not out yet. I've only gotten the space reworks. There's definitely some stuff in the patch notes I still want to see. I'd love to cover Quincy and Jed's slate. I'm going to wait till it's kind of, now that I'm in the content creator program, like using the data mined info, that's kind of like a fine line. I'm not really sure if I am really permitted to do that unless it's something that's already in the game. So I'm not going to be doing that. At least not until Gameloft gives me the green light to kind of release Gen Slate and Quincy info. And also I'd get it updated. But anyway, let's talk about Kartofski over here. So he was a support space hero with some interesting ideas that unfortunately didn't feel all that impactful when used, right? He could inflict vulnerable, great, didn't really do anything else but that. He could clear, AoE clear stealth. It didn't feel that impactful, because even though he did some awesome things, you were wasting an entire slot on him, right? So I recently said, like, oh, I think you could run Primo with Bucks and Woo, because he's got that AoE taunt and buff clear, which also reduces pep. And he does other things. He has a good kit. I don't care what anybody says. Primo's got a good kit. He just has bad stats. Kartofski, it just didn't feel like it really did anything. When you came up against a Kartofski, it was like, great, Kartofski. I'm not scared of this at all. Alright, so for his rework, they decided to flesh out the anti-stealth idea and his original ability design, and add some more focus on reducing foes' survivability in battle. So he takes away foes' chances to stick around. And we're going to see what he does to do that. I'm going to tell you this, he implements a brand new debuff, which we're going to go over, but you're going to have to hang around for the rest of the video to see that. And he does a lot of other really cool things. I think this is actually a solid rework, and I think he's actually a good unit now. And I'm, for one, very excited for a techie team. I think a techie team, people are not, like, sold on it yet, probably because, like, they have Jay's Cyber Dragon, so I have to take a closer look at that and see, like, how that's really going to synergize with all those techie. But I love Jay. I love Zane, and Egon is one of the top 10 units in the game. And I like Clockwork. I haven't seen the stats yet. I haven't seen any, like, I only faced Clockwork, but I know he's fast. And I like this Kartofski rework. I'm going to go bold. Everyone's talking about, like, Locust and Calvin, which are great. The Kartofski rework is really fantastic. And I see the downside of he's behind a paywall, so you don't really want to hype him up too much. But he is a fantastic unit. Let's just get into what he does. I'm going to tell you what his new ability does. So for his basic, he's going to deal 100% damage. Great. And there's a 65% chance to copy a random buff from one target foe onto himself. Pretty much the same thing that Magisto does on his basic, but a little bit more. It's more anti-stealth. If any foe has stealth, Major Kartofski clears a random buff from the target foe and has the chance to copy it. And the chance to copy it is 90% instead. So that's really going to be good against like Lloyd and Wu, because only one person needs to be on your stealth for him to get a 90% buff copy. Downside is, same thing with Magisto. There's a reason my Magisto's basic is only 4 and not 5. It's because if he copies Taunt onto himself, he's going to get melted. He's not very tanky at all, so that's not really... It's a little bit of a downside, but it's like, you know, it's an RNG thing. So it could backfire on him, but it could generally be very helpful. He can copy some really cool things. He can copy Attack Up, he can copy Prepared, and then, you know, you're rolling the dice with Kartofski's basic, but, you know, it is what it is. Now is his bread and butter, the EMP bomb. Right, this is what everybody has wanted to use Kartofski for. Anybody who ever tried to use him, this is really the reason you try to put him on a team, and now it's relatively more useful. So it used to just do 35% damage and have a 100% chance to clear stuff. Right, so right now it deals 55% AoE, which is okay. It's not. It's a little tap, little AoE tap. 80% chance to clear stealth. So it's like, oh, what did it get nerfed? No, 80% is still pretty high. And there's also a 70% chance to inflict Heal Block for 2 turns. Now, Heal Block is a brand new debuff. And what Heal Block does is, Heal Block 1, which is what he's inflicting, will reduce healing by 25%. Heal Block 2 will reduce healing by 50%. And I think it's called Heal Immunity, will reduce healing to nothing. You cannot be healed. You're immune to healing. So that's pretty good. And there's a 20% bonus chance if the foe has stealth. So, against that Ninjago or that Lloyd Wu Bucks team, he throws this EMP bomb in. He's now got a 90% chance to heal block 1, all of them, plus an 80% chance to rip stealth away from them. If a foe is critically hit, he increases their ability cooldown by 1 turn. And that could be huge, especially on somebody like Wu. You get a critical hit on Wu, and you can kind of push off his ultimate until you get a chance to kill him, stripping those stealths away. This is great. This is a great special ability, especially with the way that the meta is right now. I'm sorry, you know, people love to complain about bucks, but really it's stealth that's just dominating the meta right now. Right? Yes, Scarlet is annoying and super tanky, and she has the passive taunt. Whatever, it's the stealth. You can get around that. It's the stealth that at least kills me, and I'm running bucks, so maybe that's why. Ninjago is the bane of my existence, and I think everybody saw that Expedition maybe a week ago when you got to have buff immunity on Ninjago, and they couldn't do, and how easy it was to tear through them, and you could see what a difference stealth does make. Now is probably my favorite ability on him. It's called Scan for Weakness. So it's used to just inflict vulnerability and was a 40% chance to buff clear. Really, this should have been a 100% chance the whole time, but whatever. Now it deals some damage, 110% damage. It still's inflicting vulnerable, and it has a 50%, if the foe has 50% or less health, or has 4 or more debuffs, which generally does happen a lot in this game, it has a 75% chance to inflict disarm for 2 turns. Plus 5% chance for each techie hero. You play him on a techie hero team, that's a 100% chance. Right, so anybody with 4 or more debuffs, or 50% or less health, is getting vulnerable and disarmed. And those debuffs are actually more common than you think on those techie teams. You know, Zane's throwing them out there, so maybe they won't have the 4 or more debuffs. That is a lot, but I'm not saying they might. They do a lot of debuffing, a fair amount. They're not pirate debuffs, but they do a fair amount of debuffing. It's like a mini Wu ultimate single target, and it's honestly it's a great ability, and it's damaging. It's his strongest attack anyway. So on top of that, like, you could attack someone with your strongest attack and just make them completely. You're gonna melt people down with this, especially if you do this and then follow up with an Egon ultimate. You're throwing vulnerable on people, right? Egon prepares Kartofski. Kartofski does this as a crit, and Egon follows up with an ultimate. Come on. You know what it is. All right, techie synergy, bro. Techie team, new meta. Maybe. Cloak Matrix is his passive. Whenever he is critically hit, he has a 75% chance to gain stealth. That's what it used to do. That really isn't that useful, because, like, how often do you really get critically hit unless you're facing those? I mean, you do get critically hit a lot, but how often do you get critically hit and, like, still stay in the battle? Especially with Kartofski. It's way more useful now. So whenever he's critically hit, he has a 60% chance to gain stealth. But you're probably saying, well, that's not more useful. That's actually less of a turn. I don't get it. Hold on. Whenever he attacks a foe with the lowest health and stealth, so I'm taking that as the foe who is under stealth that has the lowest health. So I'm thinking, like, if Highwayman is under stealth and he's the only one under stealth, it's going to affect him. Anyway, there's a 40% chance to have its duration reduced by 1 plus 5% for each space hero. So it's not the greatest passive in the world, but it's got some nice synergy, and it's very anti-stealth. And it seems like something that'll come up more than you think. It's only a 40% chance, but we'll see how it works out. But yeah, that's Kartofski for you. So that's pretty much all I got for you today, Knuckleheads. Please remember to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that little bell for some notifications, and as always, remember to knuckle up.
She blocked me on Instagram, Snapchat, I don't give a damn about that. I can see your face, still feel the same. I don't feel the need to forget your name.